Welcome back, my fantastic artistic friends. Are you ready to do a big painting? Happy days. Well, we're going to paint a waterfall. They seem to be quite popular on the channel, and we've not painted one in the master's house yet, so we're going to crack on and do that. Now let me show you what I've got done on the canvas. Taking a big canvas up here, and the bottom part, just above the horizon line, just above centre, I've coated it in a very thin amount of like a grey acrylic primer and allowed that to dry completely. Left the top half white, and you can see some spots up at either side. When I was painting the primer, I just touched on there. These are going to be the indications of some trees way back in the distance, if all goes well. So that's dried. The top half then I've just coated in a very thin layer of liquid white, really finger touch thin layer of liquid white up there, and down at the bottom I've coated it in liquid clear, and then in the middle you probably can see a little bit of blue, that's Phthalo Blue, and around the edges a mixture of Dyke Brown and Sap Green. And if all goes well, we'll have a nice big waterfall in the centre. We might put a mountain in there as well. Mountains are quite popular as well. Right, so let's get on with the painting. So on this big 2-inch brush, what I'm doing is pulling out some Phthalo Blue and really tap the bristles into the paint. So I pull it out flat and then tap in. That'll give us a nice distribution, an even distribution of colour on the paintbrush. And then we'll come up here, start at the top, and then just swoosh in a nice little sky. And as the paint comes off the brush and the liquid white becomes into play, we'll end up with a lighter horizon line. So as the sky's darker at the top and lighter down on the horizon, and that's exactly what we want. And then we'll just take out the brush strokes just like that. I'm not going to go crazy today with the sky. Let's get a dry brush and make sure it is dry and clean, and then start at the base and then work up just like that. Now I've got a little rogue hair there. If that happens, just flick it off, and it will happen. It will happen. Okay, so that is all we're going to do for the sky. Right, set the brush down, set the brush down. Alright, now I pre-mixed, so this is just basically Dyke Brown, a tiny bit of Prussian Blue and black, and that is just basically what we're going to have for our mountains. Okay, it's very cold today as well, so that's why I've got the old sporty jacket on. Okay, so all we're going to do is just scrape in a nice mountainy colour, nice mountainy shape. And we'll probably put a peak there as well, and it'll peter off over there. Now all I'm bothered about is that lovely top edge that we have. Just this top outliney edge. Come down there like so, and we'll maybe put another little peak in there. That's all we're after. Maybe it'll grow on us this one there like that. Then scrape off all the excess paint, and then just wipe the paint knife on a paper towel. Right. Take a 1-inch brush, this one's dry. I'm just going to grab this and pull down. Take time not to distort your top edge of your mountain. Okay, just like that. And of course, if you can see the mountain in its entirety, it is darker and more distinct at the top than it is down at the ground level. Okay, right, palette knife cleaned off. I'm going to take some white paint. Now I think Ian Ritchie once put a comment on saying that the highlights always come from the right hand side. And yeah, they're doing my paintings, but if you want them on your left hand side, have them on the left hand side. Just a personal preference. That's all it is. So a thin layer of white paint, and we're just gonna drop in just some highlights. Now it's just very, very gently. That's all we'd after, just some very gentle little lightest whisper touches. That's all we're after. We don't want a great deal of paint. We just want the indication of some snow there. And if you really push on with a knife, you're going to end up like applying putty, you know, around a window. Do they still do that? I don't think they still do that. That's old school for you. So just a tiny bit, just a tiny touch of white paint right where the highlights will be. Allow that undercolour to show through as well. There we go. These look mean, cold mountains. And it is cold. It is cold. Right, let's get some shadow colour on the go. So this is just Prussian Blue and a tiny bit of Prussian Blue with white. And then we'll come on the opposite side. Now work these angles around, so work the angles, that's all you're after. There. And a bit up here as well. Make friends with your palette knife. It'll pay great dividends when you're trying to create these massive mountains. That looks like a big block, doesn't it? And up there. It's about a year ago, round about when I'm recording this, that is. I mean, this could be several weeks before it goes up. I try and paint 3 or 4 paintings in one sitting, you see, and I'm not wasting all my paint. But it was about a year ago from when I started painting this painting that my little miniature painting video went quite berserk and ended up something like 35,000 views in a very short space of time. And it was very exciting. The channel had just started as well. Yeah, not been going that long. Okay, so there we go. We've got some shadows, highlights on the mountain. Right, we can come back in here, creep back in here, just let me wipe the knife off, forgive me, and really define some of these edges there, like that. And we can make the paint a little bit thicker in places that are really make it look something special. And that's what we're after when we're creating art, right? Something unique and special. There. Come on this side. Push that in. Maybe come back in there and redefine that edge. I have done paintings where the mountain is just, you know, zigzag like teeth, but I prefer to keep them all unique looking. Unique mountains. Because they're individual, right? Individual. Right, so there we go. Right. Wipe the knife off. And let's take this brush, maybe not that one. Just a dry brush, and we're just gonna tap the base. Just the base down here. that will create fog, mist, smoke, steam, whatever it is, just like that. Up the side, and then just gently lift up, take all the tap marks out. Same there. There we have it. Big mean mountain, yeah? Right, let me wash one of these brushes out. And then just beat it up. Let's wash another one. That was so much fun. Let's wash another one. There we go. Right. Let's work on some trees in here before we get to the waterfall. So let's take a fan brush. This one will do. I seem to have dropped my filbert brush on the floor, but that's okay. Right. I am going to take a tiny bit of blue, and I'm going to mix in with that some sap green. So blue and green, or green and blue, whatever your preference is. Then I'm going to hit the canvas just like this, and I'm tapping down, so I'm pushing down more paint. There, like that. So green and blue. And don't over mix your paint. You'll get a varied colours if you keep it all marbledy. Marbledy? Is that a genuine word? So yeah. Like that. That's about what we're after. Just there. A little stand or grove or herd, I don't know, of trees. The poplar trees could be evergreens. I don't know. Right. I'm just gonna take the base of that away with a paintbrush. Swill the paintbrush out. Dry it on a paper towel. Get a bit of white paint on the paintbrush, and then just going to touch and lift up at the base. Just touch and lift up. Do two things. It will create the illusion of mist and fog down at the base of these trees, and it'll also give the indication of lots of little tree trunks. Right, clean dry brush, lift up, just gently lift up, bring all that together. There we go. That's that. I've got the heater on in the in the studio, and it's starting to get quite warm. All right, now then, let's put a bit of dirt down there. So I'm just going to go straight into burnt sienna. Just put a bit of dirt, just like that, just on there. So we're going to have water here, and a big waterfall, but we want something to hold these trees up, don't we? Like that. Okay, that same browny colour, I'm just going to add a touch of white to that, and then just gently go over the top, not much, too far away to see any real detail. Okay, what is there? There, like that. Okay. Now then, wipe the palette knife off again. Right, we're going to, let's say, set that down. Let's get a 1-inch paintbrush for back. And just pick it up off the floor. Clean it. Okay, I'm going to take a tiny bit of white, just a tiny bit of white. We'll start where the centre of the painting is, the light part, and pull down. Just pull straight down. If you grab some of that brown, that's fine, that's what we're after. And we'll just create some reflections. Okay. And then just gently across, very gently. Alright, I think we'll have a big cascading waterfall somewhere here. So let's plan this out. So if we have a water there, see, I'm making it up on the fly, you see. Yeah, I think that'll go. Right, let's cut in a tiny little water line just above all that. So some liquid white paint, the same stuff that we undercoat the top part of the painting with. We'll start off here. We'll just cut in a water line. Yeah, that'll separate the two darks, you see. Bring everything together. Yeah, like so. Like that. Okay. If you get one that's too bright, just rub it again. Keep going until it goes away. Alright, we're rock and rolling now. Did you see my Royal Mint trip? What fantastic guys and girls went down to the Royal Mint trip. It was brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's amazing. And so are all the rest of the coin tubers videos. They're absolutely fantastic. Go check them out. Okay, so let's get on with the waterfall. Let's get on with the waterfall. So lots of white paint, 1-inch brush, and we're going to start off about here. Come across and straight down. Straight down. Straight down. Probably have a stone in the middle. In fact, let's put that stone in now. Well, we've got it in his mind. Let's put that stone in now. So let's try and find a little brush. You'll do. Okay. Bit of brown, bit of white. Yeah. Bit more darker colour. Just like that. There we have it. Stone in the waterfall. What a view this one has. What a view he has. Right, so let's redefine that edge. There. Let's go for it from this side now. Just pull straight down. You can do this with a 2-inch paintbrush if you wish. Fan brush, you've seen me do lots with fan brushes from time to time. Okay, now I'm just going to take a step back, make sure it's all looking straight. There's nothing worse than a waterfall going wonky on us. Just like that. Across here like this, and this will pick up all the undercolour that's on there. The more we rub, the more it'll disappear with us. Now then, let's wash this paintbrush up. Get a drier one, and then just there. This is good to do in different colours, you know, like purples. I've done purple waterfalls before. That makes a really nice composition. Okay, there we have it. There we have it. Now, fan brush. We'll take a bit of white paint and we'll just feather some of this back. There, like that. Yeah, caught the stone there, that's okay. That's no problem. gushing over the top. There you have it. Yes, so if I put anything in a picture that you like, let me know, and if there's something in there that you don't like, also let me know, and if you would to do it any differently, that's what I'm after. But of course, we all see art and nature through different eyes. Right, so with that in place, let's work on some big stones over here. Okay, so I'm going to take some black, and I'm going to take some white, make a little bit of a grey colour. I think if we put that there, I'm going to have some trees coming off the top of that. Just there, like that. Okay, I hope we can see that. Yeah, like that. Then we'll do the, if I make a bit more, get that brown in there. A bit of blue as well. I picked up a bit of blue by accident, but that's okay. That is not bad. Okay, so we've got a nice grey colour. Again, we'll come down here and we'll just like we did with the mountains, just gently put in some stones. Hold all this waterfall up. Maybe change the colour a little bit on this stone as well. And then on this side, down there, big stone. There, like so. We can come back in, bit of highlight colour, maybe a bit too bright that one. It's alright, we can rework it, we can do anything. Anything. Okay, how's it looking so far? Alright. Let's get a place to wipe the knife. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to put some grasses up here. So Sap Green, fan brush. I'm just going to tap in over there like that. Don't need much because the dark colour's already underneath. And then let's put some trees in as well. So this is just straight Sap Green this time. Put a tree or two in, maybe darken it off if you wish. So I'm pushing down. I'm going to put some limbs on these. You just give me a second. So we'll just make it look like a proper evergreen tree. This one, let's darken it a bit, okay? Let's just darken it, especially on the edges. Is that dark enough? Not yet. A bit more green, a bit more blue. A lot of paint on the paintbrush. Side to side motions, applying more pressure as we get to the base of the tree. There we go. Fill this bottom part up. We'll separate this with highlights. There we go. Just down like so. Okay. Now I'm just going to go into yellow. Now you may notice I've got two piles of yellow. One's to stay pure yellow and the other yellow, cad yellow, is for making greens with. There's nothing worse than going and painting a yellow sky and it's got tiny bits of green in there. Alright, Right, now if your paint won't stick to the paint that's on the palette, on the canvas, make it a little bit thinner. And to do that, I've just added a tiny bit of liquid white. Tell you what we'll do. We'll take a bit of brown first and just put in the indication of some little tree trunks here and there. Now you won't see the whole tree trunk. There we go, right. A bit more paint thinner, liquid white, sorry. The light green colours that we're making. And let's come up here and let's decide which side his highlights are going to be on. I think that side. I hope that shows up. It does in here, but it may not do on the camera. Okay. Like so. A bit more on this one. Yeah. And then a few highlights on this grassy stuff up here. Like mosses and ferns and all sorts of just growing over the edge of this rock. It's getting warm with that radiator on. But I'm reluctant, I don't want to turn it off because the moment I turn it off I'll start to shiver. Okay, well, we've got that green, light green on. We're going to just come up in here and put some grasses on this plateau. You can do this with any kind of brush really. 1-inch brush works well, 2-inch, and in other videos we'll do that. Don't cover all the dark parts up between your grasses because they will separate the little individual planes of grass, if that makes sense. Just tap in some grasses there. There. Think about the shape. So it looks like it's coming around here, doesn't it? So where we're gonna put this, we don't know yet. We don't know, but when we do, you'll be the first to know. This would be a nice place for Ben. It was also on the Royal Mint video, and he's got a channel called Fishing Frenzy, and it'd be a nice place for him to go fishing. And if you haven't checked Fishing Frenzy out, please make sure you do so. Just go show him some love. Tell him the master sent you over to spot him and make his day, and mine. Right, so we need to figure out what we're doing down here. I think we'll just enclose it all in. So, with the paintbrush, which has got the white on, I don't know what I've done with it. I've not dropped it again, have I? Doesn't matter. We'll use this one. Got a bit of blue in this. What we'll do is we'll start to just a tiny bit of white paint. Put some mist, and with the water crashing this much, it's going to create a lot of mist down here. So that's what we'll do. Put that in there like so. Maybe it comes off this way. You can put layers of these in as well, like that. work on one at a time. Very similar to making clouds, you know, in the sky. Okay, so there we have it. So that's that done. So don't lose that brush down. Okay, so let's get back to the greens. So this is Sap Green and Cadmium Yellow, and we'll put another plane of grasses in here. We'll probably have, if we've got time, we'll have a tree or something like that up there. In fact, we might have some bushes now. Now we're getting closer to us. Just change the flavour of that a bit. Like that. Okay, let me take a step back, see what it looks like. Not bad, not bad. Okay, I think we'll have some bushes here, so what we'll do is just embed all that in. A bit more there. There we go. Right, so to paint a bush, I'm going to use this rounded paintbrush, and I'm just going to go, I'm going to change the colour a little bit. I'm going to just dampen it off. I'm going to add a tiny bit of yellow ochre into that yellow mixture, just to change the flavour slightly, and then tap the brush into the palette, and then let's work on one here. So just like that. Bit more paint. Just tap in a little lacy coloured bush. Looks like lace. A bit more there. There we go. Maybe touch of red into that. Maybe. Ooh, yeah. Put a red one down there as well. Yeah. That's it. Right, so let's work on the opposite side. Okay. A bit more of this, I think. That there. Picked up a bit of blue there as well. Okay, right, so there we go. Again, tell you what I'm going to do. I've just spotted it just before we go on the other side. I just want to break this up slightly, but it's not a complete flat dead colour. Same in there. Just to give a bit of variant to the greys. Okay, right. Brown. Let's put some brown on that as well. See, that pushes everything back now. Smudge it in. Right. I don't usually paint in greens. I'm not. There's one colour that I'm not really fond of, and that's green. And I don't know why, because I love looking at the wildlife, the scenery, the green hills, and everything. I just don't know why. Right. So I'm just going to have some. Going to live in that little gap there, a little bit of like fern and mosses and all sorts of dangly things. And if it's not sticking, either add paint thinner or liquid white, or you could even use liquid clear, but I use liquid white, makes it a tiny bit brighter. Yeah, a bit more there. Oh, that's it. That's it, that's the one. Because with all this moisture, there'd be all sorts living out here, wouldn't there? I think if maybe there like that as well. Yeah, I think. Right, so now we're getting somewhere. We need some more trees on this side, so let me get a different brush. One that I like to use. Where's me? I have favourite brushes, you see, as I'm sure many artists do. The problem is, I just put them down, I can't remember where I put them. Right. So, let's take Prussian Blue, Green, Sap Green, lots of paint, lots of paint. And then there we go, and then from side to side. Applying more pressure as we come down here. And add a bit of black to that as well, darken it, really darken it. So just touch where you want it to be. And then start with the corner of the paintbrush and then work side to side. And then start really pushing down as you get to the base. You can add a bit of darker colour down here as well. Of course, when you get to the base of these trees, that's when it'd be a lot of shadow, wouldn't it? Give him another one. A friend, as Bob Ross would say. And down we go, down we go, down we go. Yeah. Like that. Wipe the excess off round about here. We'll come back and make all these look pretty unique and awesome. Swill off some of that paint. Just let me adjust there. Right. Let's put a tree trunk on some of these ones. Again, you're not going to see the whole trunk. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now then, let's highlight these. Okay, so paintbrush. I really need a bigger area to work in. Okay, so I'm going to take a touch of yellow, white, that's liquid white, just to thin the paint down. And evergreens are generally a darker green than most trees. A bit more yellow in that. There we go. Same again on this one. Touch. Work on, see the shadow side and the highlight side of the mountain. So that's what we'll go with. Again on this one. There, all the way down. More pressure, but don't kill all the dark, or you'll end up mixing mud. And we don't want to mix mud. We certainly don't. Okay. Right, let's set that brush down somewhere where I'll remember where I put it. Okay, palette knife. Let's take some of this grey colour. Okay, just like so. Just put in some stones. Like that. And some more down here. A bit of dark, so it's black. Yeah. You hear that? It's either an helicopter or a plane. Sounds like an aeroplane. Right over my house now. Or an helicopter. Right. Okay, it's down here. It'll be the police helicopter, I bet. Usually is. I'm not guilty. Not this time. Alright. Some stones and boulders all down there like that. Now that coming down here. There, like so. Right, let's work a little bit more. Nearly finished. Nearly finished, folks. Nearly finished. Okay, let's put some more grassy things just that's on top of that. Just there. Bit of reflection, I think, as well in there. Alright. I see things that are just hanging loose over here. I'm going to get a tiny bit of paint thinner just to make it stick. We're getting plenty of layers of paint now on the canvas. And I do like it when they come across over in front of the waterfall. It sort of like pushes the waterfall back. There we go. Let me redo this one. There. What's good is if you get a script liner brush, you can put all kinds of roots and all kinds of things that are just hanging loose down here. Neating this feet, neating that bit up, and I think we've got almost a finished painting. Not far off, are we? Not far off. Let's just deal with this. So a bit of white paint again, straight down, reflections across, palette knife, liquid white paint, put it on the palette and cut across a little water line. There, like that. And some water lines here as well. Here, there and everywhere. Because water's going to be really churning and crazy under here. Yeah. Like that. You could even paint, if you wished, you could even paint big boulders that are down here as well, because I'm sure there would be some. I've done that in the past. You could put a big tree on that. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Okay, I think we're about ready for a signature. So some paint thinner on your red paint. I use red. It's just a different colour, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to sign it just here. So then you'll have to look for it. Just like that. So if you've enjoyed this painting, my fantastic friends, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know how I've done, let me know if you've enjoyed it, let me know what you want me to paint next, and let me know if you're having a go at this and what you do differently. Okay, but until next time, take care of yourself, stay safe, and as always, happy days.